High quality. So today, the IT infrastructure in Kenya is becoming more and more demanding, especially in the banking sector. Also nowadays, with the cloud providers, Office 365, they need very good infrastructure. What we have of the 500 racks, a lot of it is 10 years old. It's not up to date, it's not efficient, it's costly to run, it's not well designed, it's not well laid out. For the network, we don't do anything on the, what happens is we provide infrastructure for the guys that use networks.
Yeah, so
Cable cuts we can't insure against, because cable cuts are, no, that's still up to the network.
it's still up to the network because it's for the provider who moves it from your place now to you only.
So
secure
the way a network runs is you've got something moves from A to B.
So you're the point A
And point B.
The receiver is B.
Point B, exactly. So point A, which means to the network has more traffic when there's more requirements between A and B, and the size of point A sort of increases.
Yeah.
Point A in this case is our data center.
So you from your research, did you find that there's huge demand in the market?
So what we find
What
is
the
that there is a lot of demand. Why we picked Mombasa, and I think this is really important, is ultimately when we build this data center, what this does to Kenya, what this does to the port city of Mombasa, is that it makes it now suddenly the gateway to Africa.
It makes it
the gateway to Africa. What happens is when a large internet company or a large network provider is thinking of bringing their service to Africa, they look at where the cable lands.
Can I talk to that?
Yes.
When a large internet provider,
a large internet company or a network provider wants to bring strong, large computing power to
power or network.
so when I say computing, I mean computing. Power is not the right word, but basically more computers, more servers. They look around to see where there is landing stations and where there is good data center infrastructure.
They look for landing stations
and good data center infrastructure.
Stations and good
data center infrastructure.
Good data center.
Today, with this build, what we provide is actually probably the best data center infrastructure on the eastern seaboard.
Oh, really?
So we are now suddenly more as competitive as the data centers in South Africa.
Okay.
And that's the key. So when
What
one of
is
these,
the capacity maybe in South Africa?
it's probably less than this. Yeah. So we're building, these are very large facilities today.
Is this also in the research that you have?
Yeah.
The presentation?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I'll give you a call in case I need any.
So, okay, it works in the country. We don't provide cloud services. We don't provide any solutions.
So you simply do data centers?
We simply do data centers, and we simply provide space, right? So, co-location space, right? So I talked about co-location. Co-location being, physical space for people to come and house. Exactly. Yes.
Oh, great.
So we don't provide the connectivity, for which we turn to Liquid Telecom, we turn to Access Kenya, to CCOM, to our partners, and tell the customer, these are the providers that we have in our network. Please, choose.
So what we can say is that, like let's say Access Kenya or Liquid Telecom, they don't have any more space to house to expand. Yeah. So they will lease your services because maybe they don't want to set up new infrastructure or something.
Possibly,
like
yes.
Yeah.
Possibly. I mean, that's their decision. But even if they do build their own infrastructure, their core business is networks. So, our core business is providing housing. So to be able to connect the networks and the house, to be able to provide for the tenants that are in our data centers to be connected to the outside world, we rely on the networks. That's why all the partners we have are very important. For the customer, it's important that they're not tied to one provider. They can choose whoever they want.
So for customers, you mean people like?
So a bank, or if you are a hospital, or if you are a university, you have a bad experience with one provider, or you want redundancy in your network. So you
operating in other markets.
We have plans to go to Tanzania. This is our first setup here, partially because we live here. I live in Kenya, but also I think it is the biggest market in this region. So it makes more sense for us to build our first set of really big capacities.
I think this is, in my opinion, I think this is a bit bigger, and the budget should be bigger than
Yes.
$5
We'll end up spending quite a lot of money.
Yeah, can you just tell me, let's say in a span of a year, how much?
So I'd rather talk about it over the next 10 years.
Good.
Over the next 10 years, you will probably spend over $100 million in data center. And I think the right way for you to position that also is it's not just
strategy, yeah?